Hey everybody, you know who this is Joseph McCray, one half of the McCray Kings, and this is my story time. And my story time is I was actually having a stroke while recording a podcast and didn't even know it. So let's get into the story. So, for all of you that were worried and thinking that I was twisted up and what have you, as you see, I'm fine. Um, the most that happened with my stroke, which I'm lucky, I'm told, because of where it was. I should be twisted. I should be. My right hand is numb. My whole right side is numb. The left side of my face is numb. But I didn't have a normal stroke. So if you listen to our podcast that actually came out today, first comes love, then comes marriage. Some of us come with a baby carriage about gay marriage, the rentees, because there's two series on there. We're recording more, so if you are a married couple, lesbian or gay married couple or trans married couple, whatever the case may be, let us know. Leave us a message or inbox us, or you can email us at the McCrayKingsCorner.com, and that's Kings with a Z, and you could be part of the podcast. But in the podcast we made with the rentees, I'm having a full on stroke and didn't even know it. So when I listened to it today, because it came out today, I was sitting here amazed at, like, oh my God, I was literally having a stroke while recording this podcast and had no clue I was having a stroke. And the very next day, Tremel rushed me to the hospital, and that's when I found out that I had a stroke. Um, it was weird because the week of New Year's, that Monday, I got in the car and my right leg felt hot, but it was like 32 degrees outside. So my left leg was cold, but my right leg was hot. And I'm like, I thought to myself, I said, why is my leg hot? My leg was numb at that point. So Tuesday, I got in the car and my whole right side was hot, like if the heat had been on. But I just got in the car. So it was like half of me was warm and the other half was cold. So I said to Tremel, I said, is there, does it feel hot in here to you? And he was like, no. And I said, oh, because my whole right side is hot. So Wednesday came, New Year's Day, nothing. I didn't, I was fine. I didn't pay the difference in. I don't even know if I went out that day. And if I did, I probably felt the same thing, but just didn't pay it no mind. Thursday, around 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening, I got this headache like right here in the back of my head, but on the left side. But it was right here. And like it was, oh my God. I wanted to rip my skull off. That's how bad it was hurting. I took 6 Tylenols and I laid down and I said, okay, this is a really bad headache. Let me go to sleep. So I woke up the next day and it was just as bad. So it kind of felt like sinus almost. So I did the neti pot thing because I believe in the neti pot because that will clear up your sinuses. And it relieved a little bit of the pressure. So I said, okay, this must be a really bad sinus headache. I took 6 more Tylenol and the pain wouldn't go away. And it just was getting worse and worse and worse. And like I wanted to just go back here and just rip my skull off. That's how bad it was hurting. So I dealt with it that day. I lay down. I went to sleep. And in the course of sleeping, before I really woke up Saturday morning, I could tell that the headache was dissipating. And I'm like, okay, it's going away. That's a good thing. So I woke up Saturday morning, got up to go to the bathroom. And I got up and I couldn't walk. Well, not that I couldn't walk. I couldn't keep my balance. I kept leaning to the left like I wanted to fall. But, I would grab the bed or I'd grab onto the wall so that I wouldn't fall. So I went to the bathroom. All I had to do was pee. So I peed. I went to wash my hands, and that was when I noticed that my left hand, I could feel the temperature of the water. But this hand just was wet. There was no hot, there was no cold, there was no nothing. And I'm like, is my hand numb? So I looked in the mirror because in my mind, I kind of was like, did I have a stroke? Because I couldn't stand up straight. Like, I couldn't. So I'm like, I looked in the mirror. As you see, my face is fine. So I said, okay, I didn't have a stroke, so what's the problem? So I stumbled back into the room, and Tremella's like, what is wrong? Why can't you walk? And I'm like, I don't know. So because I hadn't done my dialysis in 2 days, I said, let me do my dialysis because the pain was just that excruciating. I couldn't do nothing. So I did my dialysis, hoping that, I was like probably a little too toxic, and that's what was wrong with me. So in the process of doing dialysis, because I have to stay on for 4 hours, so I started at like 9 o'clock in the morning and couldn't come off till like 4. If you listen to the podcast, I'm actually doing dialysis and having a full on stroke while recording the podcast. And if you hear the podcast, you would never know. All Tremel says in the podcast, Joseph isn't feeling that well, so if he doesn't talk a lot, but I'm being my regular self. So we do the podcast. I finished dialysis. Still can't walk. Go to sleep, but there's no headache. Go to sleep, wake up Sunday morning, same scenario, get up to go to the bathroom. I can't keep my balance. I can't keep my balance. Tremel tells me, well, make up your mind. We're going to emergency room. And I'm laying there like, I don't want to go to the emergency room. And I'm trying to focus, and I'm looking like I can't, not that I couldn't see, but my vision was blurry. And I was seeing like two of everything, and then it would be blurry. So in my mind, I said, yeah, I need to go to the emergency room because something is not right. So he was like, come on, get up, take a shower. I was like, I can't. And he was like, what do you mean you can't? I said, Tremel, I can't take a shower. I can't do this. So my baby, I love him. He fills up a bucket with water and comes with soap and a washcloth and goes, well, at least wash up in a bucket. I'm like, I can't, Tremel. He didn't understand. Like, I was literally, probably, if I didn't go to the hospital, it was about to really, really overtake me. So he helped me get dressed. He said, you sure you know? I said, you know me. I don't go out of the house without taking a shower. But this is one time that I have no choice. I can't. I can't stand up to get in the shower. I couldn't do it. So he helped me get dressed, took me to emergency room. And because I live in a little 2-horse town, they rushed me to a bigger hospital 45 minutes away. And when I got there, they did 2 CAT scans, which showed nothing. And then they did an MRI. And that's when they came to the conclusion that I had a mild stroke. But when they asked me where the headache was and I showed them, they were surprised that I could talk. They were surprised that I could write. They were surprised that I still was strong and I had all my strength. And the only thing wrong with me was that my vision was blurry and that I couldn't walk in a straight line. So my purpose of this story is, one, not to feel sorry for me because my blood pressure was sky high, and it's my fault because being on home dialysis, I should check my blood pressure every day, and I don't. I don't. And I like salt. I like food with seasoning. Like, if you give me bland food, I will get attitude and push it away and get mad. Like, don't give me food with no flavor, because I love to eat food with flavor. And if it don't have flavor, if you don't season it right, I'll just take some salt and sprinkle. But this story time is really for my people. And when I say my people, I mean my black people. Because a lot of us will sit and say, I'm not going to the doctor, I'm going to pray. God will fix it. And that mentality has got to stop. Because if I would have sat here and, y'all know my father's a preacher, I grew up in church, and that's the mindset I have. Like, I'm going to pray and God will fix it. Honestly, that didn't come to my mind then because I kind of thought I knew something was wrong. When I couldn't walk, and I don't want to say I couldn't walk because I could walk, but I didn't have balance. And my balance was off. I knew something was wrong. I didn't want to believe nothing was wrong, and I should have went to the hospital Saturday morning when I couldn't walk. But no, not me. And a lot of us do that because we don't want to go to the doctor. We don't want to hear what's wrong. But if I had went, they would have been able to give me medicine and probably would have, fixed everything immediately. Now they want me to do therapy. I'm around the house walking because I'm not. If you tell me I can't do something or if I feel like I can't do something, I'm going to prove you wrong and do it. So I'm around the house walking. Me and Tramel will go out and I'll go not for a walk, but to the car, away from the car, to the store, out of the store. But it's rough because when you have a stroke, like you just want to sleep all the time. And I guess that's your brain's way of healing itself. So, like, I could sleep all day if I wanted to. And it's like you get exhausted just trying to walk or trying to go up and down the stairs. Because I can do all of that. It's just I have to go slow. Because if I don't go slow, I look like a little kid that just learned how to walk. And you put them on the ground and they just take off and they start wobbling all over the place. And you're like, oh my God, they're going to fall. And they never fall. That's what I look like. It's funny to me, but it's funny but frustrating. It's funny because in my mind, I look like a big little kid trying to walk. It's frustrating because I know how to walk, and the more I think about trying to do it right, it just seems wrong. So now I just really take my time and I don't even walk with the cane. If I don't walk with the cane and I go slow and I don't think about walking, I could just walk slowly and the most you'll say is, why he walking so slow? But past that, you would never know nothing was even wrong with me. It's a little weird with my right side being numb and my left side not being numb. But then the left side of my face is numb, but the right side isn't numb. So it's like when I eat stuff, if you've ever had Novocaine and went to the dentist that had Novocaine and you know that feeling like in your mouth if you drink something cold. It's nice and cold over here, but it's like warm over here. So, but my tongue is kind of coming back. The feeling is kind of coming back slowly but surely. Um, and like my face gets cold, like if Novocaine is wearing off, and I have to put it to Novocaine because that's exactly what it feels like. It feels like this whole side was shot with Novocaine, and when Novocaine wears off, you kind of get that little chill, like it's wearing off, or like the Novocaine set in. And then on my right side, I can feel touch. I can feel all of that. I just can't feel like real sensations. Like when I was in the hospital, they was sticking my leg with a pin, and they was like, "Is it blunt or sharp?" And I'm like, "Blunt, blunt." Then they stuck my left leg, and I'm like, "Ah, what are you doing? That's a pin." And they were like, well, "That's what we were sticking you with." And I'm like, "What?" Like I couldn't even feel the sharpness of the pin. I can feel it push, but I couldn't feel the sharpness of the pin. Um, it's weird. It is weird. It's a weird feeling. But I mean, I thank God that it could have been way, way worse than what it was. Especially me going for like 2 days with having a stroke and not doing anything about it. And, I'm glad that my husband said, get up and we're going to emergency room. But I probably would have went because my vision, like I said, was blurry. And I would have been freaking out going, oh my God, I'm going blind. What's wrong? But that's just my message is if something goes wrong and you know that it shouldn't be that way, I would really say definitely get up and carry your ass to the emergency room, or get up and go to a doctor and see what's wrong, because it's not cute to be. It's not. It's just not a good thing. And yes, go to the emergency room and still pray and tell the Lord to heal you while you laid up in that emergency room, because that's how prayer works. We ain't in the day of miracles where you gonna lay home and be stroked the fuck out and tell Jesus to heal you. And a miracle is he gonna just take his hand and remove the stroke and you gonna get up and be fine. That's not gonna happen. And we have to do better, people. We do. I know a lot of us, it's embedded in us from kids, and your mama give you some ginger ale until you go lay down and you'll be fine and go pray about it. It is 2020. You can't take ginger ale, lay down, and it'll be better. You just can't. So, you know, that's that for that story time. I'm gonna come back with another story time. I'm trying to think of what kind of story time I want to do for you guys. I mean, I have a lot of funny stories I could tell you, and I have an enlightening story time that I think a lot of you can relate to me on. And I'm probably going to do that one first, um, because it's something that's necessary. It's something that needs to be said. It's something that needs to be done. And it's all part of a healing process. It was a healing process for me. And I know for some of you, if you haven't already gone through it, the things that I say in that story time will definitely be a healing process for you as well to go through. So, on that note, yes, I had a stroke. I was having a stroke and recorded a whole podcast. And like I said, you can check the podcast out on Apple, Google, and Spotify, and any podcast outlets. Just put in our name that you see here, the McCray Kings, Kings with a Z. You can listen to the podcast. It's called First Comes Love, Then Comes Marriage. Some of us come with a baby carriage. The Renties, that's who we interviewed. And yeah, that whole interview, I was having a stroke and I didn't even know it. But on that note, y'all, you know I always say, walk in peace, love, and sunshine. And it's Team McCray all damn day. And I'm going to be back with another story time for you. Later.